Hello YouTube, this is Marauders here, and this is my OneXPlayer. Now, this particular variant of the OneXPlayer is a Core i5 running a 1135G7 variant, and it has 16 gigs of RAM. It also comes equipped with the IntelXE integrated graphics, so actually it should give us pretty decent gaming performance. So let's give Doom Eternal a try. You know, everyone likes to test performance using Doom Eternal, right? Let's go. Okay, so we get a message saying in known Intel drivers issue that's not supported. This is normal because games don't like any video driver with the name Intel on it. Let's go. So it might take a while to... Okay, it's loading. Oh. So, okay. It doesn't work. Okay, maybe this is too demanding a game to run for an Intel graphics, for integrated graphics. Let's try something else. Okay, so here I have Guilty Gear Strive, a fighting game. This should be simple enough. It's just displaying two characters on the screen. Yeah, so we're gonna go into display settings and we're gonna see what settings do we have right now. So 800p, best image quality settings. You know, this we trust the IntelXE graphics chip. So let's give it a shot. We're gonna see what is the worst case scenario. Okay, let's go into training mode. Right, let's go. Let's oh dear. Oh dear. You know what? This is unplayable. There's no way we can do this. This is definitely unplayable, and we definitely can't use this at all. Okay then. Okay, so what exactly is the problem here right now? Because the IntelXE is supposed to be pretty decent. So let's just do what we usually do when PC games don't work as well. We're gonna go look at our driver situation. So we can find this Intel Graphics Command Center in our start menu. And we can see that we go to System and we go to GPUs, and we can see that, oh look, according to this, we have the most current driver, version 27.20 whatever. Okay, so it's like 27 point something. Now let us take a quick trip to the Intel website. Then we're gonna go to support. We're gonna go look for the download center, and we're just gonna search for Intel graphics. Okay, so we can see here Intel graphics DCH drivers. So we're gonna go down. We're gonna go to the page. And here we can see that actually the drivers here that are the latest is well, it was just like a few days from the public creation of this video, and it's version 30. In fact, if we look at what we currently have, which is version 27, we are actually quite far behind. Let's see, 27, the 100, yeah, I think we are around this spot. So yeah, the drivers are really old. So okay, we are obviously going to download and install these drivers. Okay, so now we've upgraded our drivers, so you can see that the driver version is now 30 point whatever. Okay, so And again, it still says that we are using the most current driver. So as I mentioned, this seems to be a bit problematic. Now we can go and run Guilty Gear Strive again. Okay, so here we are back in Guilty Gear Strive. So once more, we're gonna confirm that the settings are still at best 800p. Okay, so here's our settings. Okay, I basically just turned motion blur off because that's just me. Okay, and I'm gonna go back into training mode again. Okay, Beth May. Okay, moment of truth. Okay, this I'm hitching, but of course, this is already so much more playable than what we saw just now. Okay, let me just pull this up. So this is already so much more playable than just now. This is pretty good because you got smooth frame rates. There's already like no pausing, and of course you are definitely getting better than the slideshow things that you were seeing just now. This is great. Okay, anyone can tell you this definitely feels like playing a game properly, and this is just good. And all we needed to do was to update the drivers. Okay, so now we're gonna get into the main bugbear of IntelXE driver graphics test, Doom Eternal. So we're gonna play, and so the driver name is still Intel, so it still says it is unsupported. That please don't come running to them saying that, oh, the game doesn't work. And you can see that we are actually booted into the game. So that's already a good start, because usually these things, it is never able to boot into the game. So I'm just going to be using a separate controller to play this so that I don't need to worry about the video capture cable. Okay, so what are the settings we are running at? Here's our video settings. So basically, I've toggled it to medium. Okay. Here are the settings that we're using. Okay, film grain is 0. So dynamic resolution scaling is on because that gives you great performance. Of course, you don't get something that looks fantastic, but well, we are basically looking to actually be able to play the game, not that we want it to look nice. Okay, just I don't normally play Doom on the controller, so I'm not gonna be doing very well. Just keep an eye on the frame rate, not the gameplay.
There is no victory here, only pain. Let it begin!
Let it begin. Hey, that's gonna earn a censorship thing. Okay, so you can see it's definitely what we would say playable. Like, I mean, the frame rate is nice and smooth. It's usable. I guess if you want more frames, just push the graphical settings down a bit. But overall, playable. Now, at least I mean, come on, at least it still boots compared to what we had just previously, where it doesn't even boot. So yeah, Doom Eternal is playable on IntelXE. So I just remembered people like to use Super Gore as a benchmark of performance. So yeah, let's take a look then. Okay, here we are. Ooh, so you can see that there's some hitching there. You know what? I'm gonna turn the graphics down to low and see what happens. There's a lot of hitching here. Okay, let's try again. We're going to load the checkpoint. And we're gonna just dump our video down to low. Low settings. Apply changes. Oh wow, so after we set our settings to low, I can feel that, yep, there's the interesting improvement. And there's still some hitching, but I guess it can be perfect. But as I mentioned, the main thing is that it actually works for the most part. You're playing it on integrated graphics, which is what a lot of people figured you couldn't do. Oh, now I remember why it's slowing down. It's slowing down because I have the rune that slows down time when I aim down scope for in the air. Okay, that's why it was slowing down. Because I had the rune where if I aim down scope do ADS, it would be slower. Okay, so actually performance is pretty decent. Okay, so Doom Eternal on IntelXE, no problem. Just update your drivers and you're good and golden. You can actually play it on an IntelXE decently well too. So in an ideal world, this is where the video ends. This is where I tell you, look, if you update your Intel graphics drivers, your IntelXE equipped 11th gen CPU is going to be great at gaming. Look, yes, you might only be able to play at 800p, but compared to not being able to play at all, it's amazing. But if this was working perfectly, no, people who have been talking about how Intel integrated graphics have been usable for like I think 6 to 8 months now, but instead everyone is still saying that Doom Eternal doesn't work, Elden Ring doesn't work, a lot of things just work really bad. So what's the problem here? Because as you can see here, everything does work pretty well. So why do people still keep saying that you can play games with an IntelXE graphics? Let's take a look. Okay, so here is the problem. So I'm in my device manager again, and here's our display driver, our IntelXE graphics driver. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to say update driver. Now I'm going to tell it to look for drivers in Windows Update and download it. Now remember, we've just installed the latest driver. So this should say when you do the search, it's just going to tell you, oh, you have the latest driver installed, and it doesn't do anything. But it's actually installing drivers. And that's where the problem comes in, okay? So it actually went and got a driver from Windows Update. Okay, so Windows has installed a new driver, and let's take a look again at the situation. We'll come back and look at our Intel Graphics Command Center. And let's look at the driver version again. And hello 27. So it seems like the Windows driver has fallen back to an older version. Okay, now it could be because integrated graphics drivers are just weird, because I don't know, even Intel also usually shows a warning when you try to install manual drivers instead of your OEM drivers. But the driver that is on Windows Update will is definitely older and seems to always override the one that you downloaded manually from the Intel website. So why is this a problem? I mean, no one goes into the display driver and do a update driver. No one does that. So the problem here is when you go to Windows Update, so if you're in Windows Update, you can see that we can look at our update history. And part of these updates are driver updates. And we can see here, this was like about a week ago when the version 27 just got updated to the system. So Windows Update will actually automatically download whatever new driver that Intel publishes to Windows Update. So and it's considered a later driver than what you have installed. So it will just like every now and then, your drivers will just get updated automatically, and suddenly your games which have been working perfectly fine suddenly work like trash again because you have reverted back to the older version of the driver. This is probably the reason why everyone is mentioning that Intel graphics are bad, because whenever you install a new one, they don't notice that every now and then it will get updated and by Windows and rolled back to the previous version. So what can you do about it? Well, the thing here is that whenever something stops working, you could just check if your video drivers are the latest version and just reinstall it if it's been downgraded. I'm not saying it's a good idea, but it works. The other thing you could probably do is you could disable the Windows driver updates automatically, the auto driver updates. I'm not sure if it actually works because I just tried turning it on myself today, and I'm not sure how it affects everything else. So I wouldn't recommend it if you are not sure of what you're doing. Okay? Okay, so now we can actually come to a conclusion here. The thing here is that Intel integrated graphics especially from this IntelXE and above, these are pretty capable. I'm not saying that they are going to like replace the need for an actual full-blown integrated dedicated graphics like Nvidia or an AMD, but the thing is, they are pretty decent. Okay, they work pretty well, and if you've been using integrated graphics for a while, you'll be surprised at how capable IntelXE are. And on Intel's part, they've actually been doing quite a lot of work on this driver and compatibility issues. They've been like releasing new driver updates once a month, almost once a month. So it's pretty good. The compatibility and performance are getting better every month, as long as they keep up with this thing of constantly delivering updates. Okay, so if you have a 11 gen processor, you might be able to play games, and you're a gamer. It's no longer a case of, hey, I do need dedicated graphics in order to play a game suitably. And yeah, this is great. This is actually a very good thing. But what ruins it is, of course, the fact that the whole driver issue that you had to maintain with the fact that Windows Update will just backroll your drop your driver version, and you just update it again. That just makes it really annoying. But on one hand, that's annoying, but on the other hand, look, in the end, nothing changes the fact that you are able to game on an Intel integrated graphics and game. We're not just talking about old games, we're talking about modern games that, I mean, as long as they don't decide to completely not run when they see a Intel graphics chip and just give you a warning, you have a pretty good chance of running the game. So yeah, you should give IntelXE a try if you want to play games on your laptop. Okay, so this is Marauders. I hope you learned something about your IntelXE GPU, and I will see you all in the next video. Ooh, feathers. Whee! Maroons! Well, that's 46,000. Nah, I'll just go farm some more. So a few more extra tips for you if you're trying to game on an IntelXE graphics system. First of all, try to dumb down your resolution to like something at 800 or 720p before running a game, because yeah, a lot of people will tell you 1080p is great and everything, but seriously, sometimes, you just want to be able to play a game. You can try if it works at 1080p, but if it doesn't work well, just bring it down to 720p or 800, something that's up to your native ratio, and you will be surprised at the performance that you can get. So another piece of advice, if you're trying to see whether your IntelXE system can actually play games or not, is you need 16 gigs of RAM. Okay, because it's an integrated graphics, therefore it needs to be able to share memory between your actual work and the graphics system as well. I've tried it with 8 gig systems. They don't work. 8 gig laptops with only 8 gigs of RAM can't work well. So it can't run Doom Eternal, it can't run Resident Evil. There are a lot of things that it can't run. But 16 gigs seems to be a very good sweet spot. You can run modern games and they seem to work pretty well. Yeah, but if you have only 8, you're going to be running into more problems than usual.